Good morning, everyone. I hope that this has been a great summer for all of you, and you've taken some time to be with family and friends, and now you're all back and ready to go. Well, not back. Some of us have been here all summer, right? This year has certainly been one of transition for the university and for me, as I assume the role and responsibilities of Chancellor. Later this year, I will present a State of the University address, during which I will provide more details on my priorities. This morning, before President Bernardo-Sousa gives her State of the Campus, I would like to briefly share with you some of the highlights. I report to the Johnson & Wales Board of Trustees, which I think most of you know. They are leaders in their field, a very capable and smart group of individuals who very deeply believe in our mission. Just like each of you, I have set goals for myself to achieve the objectives that we have set forth in the university's strategic plan, Focus 2022. One commitment that I have made to the Board of Trustees is to strengthen the university's governance structure by appointing the right people to the right positions. On the academic side, those appointments include Provost Billy Auclair, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, Michael Fine, and the Interim Dean of the College of Health and Wellness, Laura Galligan. To better manage the strategic growth of the College of Online Education, Cindy Parker has transitioned to the position of Vice President, overseeing the operational side of the College of Online Education. We have appointed David Cartwright as Dean to focus on the academic side. We are having serious conversations with very talented individuals for the position of Dean of the College of Food, Innovation, and Technology. And several qualified people have submitted applications for the Dean of the College of Hospitality Management. This summer, the former president of Northeastern University, Dr. Richard Freeland, has been engaged to advise our leadership on academic and reputational strategies. We currently announce the well-deserved promotion of Joe Green to the position of Vice Chancellor of Finance and Administration. He will assist me in the operations of the university system. We are in the final stages of choosing a new president for the Denver campus, and this week I was at the Charlotte campus, introducing the new interim president to faculty and staff there. It is important that we have strong leadership in place at the branches so that they can work towards Focus 2022 of becoming self-sustaining campuses. We will be launching a national search for a senior leader to oversee enrollment management university-wide. Another major commitment I've made to the Board of Trustees is to seek opportunities and strategies to raise the level of engagement among the Johnson & Wales community and industry partners to achieve our fundraising goals. Another important announcement that I made this year was asking Maureen Dumas to become Vice President of Advancement in University Relations. We are creating a culture of fundraising, a university where fundraising efforts are successful starts with the expectation that every member of the community, the administration, deans, faculty, and staff, has an important role to play. Now, I'm not going to confuse this with your giving money, but rather with being fine representatives of Johnson & Wales University and connecting us with others that we should be engaging with and that should be a part of our Johnson & Wales community. What this means for me is an active travel schedule so that I can meet in person with those who we believe can help us achieve academic excellence in our academic programming, advance our reputation, and provide financial resources to support our mission. This summer, I met with community leaders in Denver, and next month I have a full week planned for meetings in Charlotte. I want you to understand my role as Chancellor and what it means for you and for the university system, and we'll be sharing more in the months to come through campus communications and my State of the University address. Though there may be new staff members in the audience this morning, I know most of you have been here for a number of years. Together, we have experienced the changes in leadership and the impact of the drop in enrollment that has been occurring over the past few years. As a result, we have had to adjust how we accomplish our work, and we have to be more mindful of how our resources are spent. I know for some, there has been some apprehension about the future of Johnson & Wales University, as well as your position at the university. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. 2017 and 2018 were very challenging years for us. We knew we couldn't keep doing the things the same way and expect a different outcome. I'm not the only one that figured that out. As Albert Einstein noted, that is the definition of insanity. We are not crazy, everybody, we are smart. We have made and will continue to make changes that are in the best interest of our university, and we will ask for assistance when needed. This university is a really big ship, but thoughtfully and strategically, we are turning it around, and we are doing that together. We still have a way to go, especially at the branch campuses. I believe our hard work and plans for the future will be duly recognized during our NECHI accreditation visit later this fall. All I ask of you is to do your job and to do it to the best of your ability. As Chancellor, that is what I am asking of myself and what I pledge to you. Leave this morning knowing that the Providence campus is in a good place today, with even better days ahead. And I thank you for making Johnson & Wales University the great institution that it is. Another important appointment that was made this year was Marie Bernardo-Sousa as president of the Providence campus. She has a remarkable 30-year career at Johnson & Wales, starting as a student and then taking many steps along the way that developed her lifelong commitment to JWU and prepared her well to become the president of our flagship campus. Now, to present her inaugural State of the Campus, I am pleased to introduce President Marie Bernardo-Sousa, and forever JWU, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chancellor Rooney, for your visionary view of the future of Johnson & Wales. You serve as a mentor for so many people here at the university, and I want to thank you personally for your leadership, your wit, your grit, your heart, your relentless desire for excellence. You are ensuring that we will build a strong future for Johnson & Wales. And here at the Providence campus, we're poised for it, so thank you. To my colleagues at the Providence campus, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for the notes and the emails. Thank you for your aspirations for the future. You inspired me. And you made it very clear to me that we are poised for success here. We are poised for a strong future. And all we need are the people who are here, our community coming together. And you're all prepared to do the work, so thank you for that. Many of you had an opportunity to attend the listening sessions, and that was really insightful and beneficial for me. So for those of you who had the time, I want to thank you for your insight and your collective wisdom. We're going to take that work. There were some great ideas and concepts that came from those conversations. Many focused on what's the future of CFIT, how do I contribute to it. Also focused on some elements that are so critical to our long-term success. What are we doing with recruitment? What are we doing with retention? What about our reputation as a university? Do people know how good we really are? And do we have the resources? Well, those elements are going to be critical to our future. In the center of everything is our academic mission. And surrounding it is the work that we're going to put forward on recruitment, on retention, on building our reputation, and allocating our resources so that we can achieve Focus 2022. This is a pivotal time in higher education. We know that there are a lot of challenges that are facing us, some external forces that we can't actually control. We know that federal and state governments are working diligently to constrain private education. We know that high schools are putting together strong school-to-work programs, allowing students to go right into a career out of high school. We also know the cost of education is significant, particularly private education. In addition, the media has not been our friend. So private institutions are being part of the media feeding frenzy. There's a lot of information out there, and they're all asking the question, what's the value of higher education? I even saw anchors talking about it on ESPN, if you can imagine. So these challenges certainly create some legitimate concerns that we have to tackle. And the legitimate concerns focus on financial stability of institutions across the country. And so, since we're an educational institution, and this is an educational setting, I thought we'd do a pop quiz. What do you think? I promise it will be simple, true and false. So, chances are, you might get it right, okay? So with a show of hands, we'll do true and then we'll do false. So Clayton Christensen, let's get that right, a Harvard faculty member about 5 years ago penned a paper basically saying that 50% of higher education institutions would close in 10 to 15 years. True or false? True. Okay, who thinks it's false? The trues have it. Now, there is one piece of information. It's not happening as quickly as he thought it would happen. And that statistic is actually incorrect, right? So schools are not closing at that pace. So here comes our second question. 394 college campuses, and this includes career colleges, across the country have closed in the past 4 years. True or false? So true. All right, almost the whole room thinks true. Any false? So it is false. 645 schools have actually closed. Now, some of those were big conglomerates, big corporate for-profit institutions. Our third question. 10 NETCHI colleges and universities have closed, merged, or been placed on probation since 2016. True or false? True? False? A few false. False, 24. Big number, right? That's a wake-up call. All right, last one. 61 nonprofit public and private institutions have closed since 2016. True or false? True. It's true. So these are some sobering statistics. I share them with you because I want to affirm that this is not just happening when you see challenges at Johnson & Wales. It's not just Johnson & Wales. It's happening on a national scale. But what you need to take heart in is that we are an institution who has a long history of intentional planning. We're prepared for this. We're ready to buck the trends. We have a strategic plan in Focus 2022 that will help us arrive at the place that we need to be. Johnson & Wales will not just survive, we will thrive. What you see on the chart behind me is the work that we've done in strategic planning. In 25 years, we have built a campus community. We have invested in our endowment. We have expanded our geographic footprint. We have built a strong student-centric culture. And we have introduced new modalities through the College of Online Education, new colleges in arts and sciences and health and wellness, and several new academic programs. We did that in 25 years. That's significant. We are poised to innovate in the future. And in Focus 2022, we talk about innovation, the College of Food, Innovation, and Technology. So I know many of you are curious, like, where are we going? And Chancellor Rooney shared with you that we're at the final stages with several very qualified applicants for the dean position. The faculty have been working diligently on building new programs in food sustainability and systems. We are seeing a greater synergy amongst all the colleges working together. Some faculty are right now working on a food minor that any student at Johnson & Wales can take. About time, right? Seems like that would make sense. So we are positioned to find success. And it is through our deliberate strategic planning and the execution of that strategy. I want to talk a little bit about fall enrollment. I'm sure you're all thinking about it right now, particularly as students are starting to move in. Fall enrollment here at the Providence campus, it looks a little tenuous, I have to be honest with all of you. We had a very slow start at the first quarter of the year with applications building, but we rebounded. And in the second quarter, we had dramatic increases in application flow and deposit flow. And now as we're getting closer to September, some families are finding it difficult to meet the financial obligations. The students who arrive in September are important and critical to our long-term success. They need you to bring your best self to work every single day, and they're counting on it. I also want to talk about third parties and what they think about Johnson & Wales. Now, the Department of Education is a regulator when you think about higher education. They want to ensure that institutions are managed responsibly, and they have a way of testing the waters. So they have created a financial composite scores. And it starts from -1 to 3. 3 is the best score, so we want to be closer to 3. Johnson & Wales in 2018 was 2.9. So that means that we are positioned well to meet the needs of the future. We may have some tough decisions ahead, but we're ready to do that. And we're seeing continued growth in our College of Online Education that will help the entire system. So when we think about enrollment in the future, I want you to think about enrollment not just about recruitment, but retaining the students we have on our campus. So there are lots of pathways, on-ramps and off-ramps, where students can step out of their educational progress here at the university. We need to intervene there. At those junctures, we need to connect with students. Let me remind you, we have 6 weeks to make an impact on the new student class. Students who are returning to us need to feel like they're part of a community. We have to extend a hello and begin to build engagement efforts. We have goals that we're setting for ourselves. So Chancellor Rooney and Vice Chancellor Green asked all the campuses to think about what are those enrollment goals for the future, for the next 5 years. And these are the goals for the Providence campus for 2020. They're attainable goals, and there are lots of ways that we can arrive at it. We need to build conversion practices for both new and returning students. We need to engage with our students in an authentic voice. We also need to make sure that we're supporting those efforts. So there are new programs being introduced for the Providence campus in 2020, and we're excited about those. Biomedical engineering is one of them from the School of Engineering and Design. Food sustainability and systems is another, and that is from the College of Food, Innovation, and Technology. And then a really interesting one from the College of Arts and Sciences. Design your own major. Right? Interesting. I think that program will help boost our retention rates. So for the academic counselors in the room, for our resident directors, anyone who's interacting with students, when they start telling you, I'm not sure I'm in the right program, they need to sit down and think about what are they interested in, and how can we develop a program that supports their long-term goals. I think we can do it. We need to build more adjacencies. I also want to encourage you to be an active participant in university life. Attend an event, attend an athletic program, a speaker series. Students really want to see you, and they want to see you in a different environment, not in your office environment. I had the opportunity to meet with a group of students before the academic year closed, and they talked about the importance of interacting with you, what your experiences bring to their Johnson & Wales experience. So if you can, make an effort and be an active member of university life. Admissions has a lot of work ahead of it. And as Chancellor Rooney shared with you, we are in the search for a Vice President of Enrollment Management. But there's work that's happening right now to support our 2020 recruitment year, and actually started in March. So some of the pieces that you see behind me are there. We have aggressive goals for the coming year in 2020. We've made some changes to our recruitment rep network to support the long-term viability of all of our campuses. And we're bucking the trend here because our students love paper applications. I don't know why. So 20% of our paper applications, 20% of our applications come in from paper. So we're like, you can go on the web, it's really easy, you got Common App, but they like paper, and that's okay. We're excited they're applying and they're interested in the university. We're also working very closely with the academic community to ensure that academic programs, new academic programs, have the space to actually grow and cultivate a market. So every new program will have 3 years to reach its market potential, and we'll be working very closely with the academic community to build that narrative. We're also focusing on some impact topics and impact majors. We had tremendous success building out teams to look at specific academic programs and our efforts. We will continue to do that work, but we're also beginning to highlight our presence in food on all things in our enrollment management pieces, as well as in sustainability. So we're looking forward to that work. Retention, it's a big one. As I participated in the listening sessions, I realized how weary people were of that word. It's a really simple word, right? Retention, to retain, to preserve. But in some ways, it's hard to put your arms around what does that mean for you personally? How can you personally influence retention? And there are many ways that you can do that. You have to listen to our students. We have to support the learning process. We have to take action when they share information or concerns about other sectors of the university experience. When you hear that, it's not just like, oh, a student told me, but what action will you take with it? We have to focus on acclimating students to college life. What's expected of them in an academic setting? We're going to have to define that, and working together we'll be able to do that. We have several groups working on building traditions, programs and experiences that students can really connect to and hold dear to once they leave Johnson & Wales and they graduate. They're never too far from Johnson & Wales because remember, it's a Wildcat for life. So in 2017, the Providence campus retention rate was 71%. We anticipate that the 2018 retention rate will be somewhere in that ballpark, 71, 72%. The 2019 class and the 2020 class, we're looking for growth rates of 73 to 75% in retention. And you might wonder, how will we do that? By being present, by being focused on learning outcomes for our students, understanding how active learning contributes not only to the student experience, but to our academic reputation. So you might be sitting in the room saying, well, what's active learning? Think about our internships. Think about the lab spaces that we've made investments in, our directed work experience, and think how our students perform on the national stage. 9 out of 10 years, our ad team has made it to nationals. Take that in for a second. I think you should explode into applause, actually, because that's a pretty dynamic moment. That is phenomenal. This year, our School of Engineering and Design welcomed, I'm going to say it wrong, Frank, I think, the Epsilon Pi. It's an honor society for engineering students and computer science students. 3 of our faculty members were inducted to the program, and about 20 students were inducted into the program. It's only 1 of 2 in the state of Rhode Island. Students from our hospitality college, we had 6 students who earned over $50,000 in scholarship money from the National Hotel Association. That's incredible. We also had our first class of graduates from the biology program. So think back. I talked about our desire to execute on our strategic plan. We've been doing it, so biology is a great example. That program started 4 years ago. We graduated our first class. Our ambition for that program was that it would be a pipeline for our graduate programs in PA and other health and wellness programs. Our first graduate from the bio program entered the PA program this June. So it worked. We find success, and we continue to innovate and try new things. Next week, we have a young man, Dylan Torres, who is part of VICA, the Vocational Industrial Clubs of America, Skills USA. He is participating in the World Showcase. He will be traveling to Russia. Had the opportunity to speak with one of the chefs who shared with me, this is like the Olympics. Countries are actually taking the students who are participating, paying for them to practice, giving them accommodations. Dylan is representing the United States of America. He has been practicing with his faculty. He's also been holding a full-time job and taking a class. So think about Dylan next week. Hopefully he does really, really well. We're really proud of him representing the university. We also have 2 national officers for DECA. So they are representing Johnson & Wales, the national stage, for all of our DECA conferences. These are phenomenal accomplishments. They happen because of the academic experience we provide our students. I want to thank you for that. These experiences happen both in and outside of the classroom, and they happen because you motivate students and inspire them to step out of their comfort zone and to compete on the national stage. The increase in retention will also experience a lift because of our change to semesters. So I want to take a moment and publicly thank Christine Thompson for the work that she's been doing in leading the semester conversion team. They're going to ensure that the process is seamless for us in 2020. And I also want to thank the faculty and members of the University Curriculum Committee, because I think they have a lot of work ahead of them in the next year, approving new courses and outlines to support the semester transition. Reputation. Someone's belief or opinion about an institution, an organization, an individual. Our reputation is something sacred, something that we have to own. We set the bar when we're out with our community members, with our friends, our family. We have to position Johnson & Wales to be the stellar institution that it is and exemplify how our mission comes to life. Our reputation is influenced by everyone who's sitting in this room, by the students who are enrolled here at the university, by our industry partners, and our alumni. We have to continue to build our reputation. It starts in the classroom. It starts by who we're accredited. So we know we have our NEASC accreditation coming up. And so the first line up there talks about our NEASC accreditation. There will be open sessions for faculty and staff. So I hope that you'll find time to attend. That's where you have the opportunity to share with colleagues from other institutions what it's like to be here at Johnson & Wales, what we do well for our students in support of their academic objectives. We've also taken a lot of efforts to look at specialized education, accreditation. So we know that PA ARC is our PA accreditation. We also have Ascend for our culinary dietetics and nutrition program. And our, I'm going to get that wrong, right? ACOT for our occupational therapy program. Specialized accreditations are important to our reputation and how we move forward as an institution. The faculty in the College of Business are working diligently to assess accreditation and anticipate that the College of Business will be accredited in 2022. The School of Engineering and Design is looking at ABET accreditation. So that is under consideration. There isn't a full move yet there, but we're anticipating that it's an area that we have to allocate resources to strengthen our reputation. I want to talk about the elephant in the room, U.S. News & World Reports. I think by this point in time, you received Chancellor Rooney's note. It was a mistake. It was not intentional. And guess what? We're going to be on the U.S. News & World Report's rankings for 2020, and it comes out mid-September. So be on the lookout for it. We'll be ranked there, and we will continue to build that ranking and increase with our efforts. Money Magazine has just highlighted Johnson & Wales University as being a best value in higher education. They look at information regarding student outcomes, the cost of education, the experience of the university's faculty, and determine that we were a best value. One of the things that you should take great pride in is that our career outcome rate here at the Providence campus is 96.8. So what does that mean? It means students who graduate within a year have found full-time employment, have gone on to graduate school, they are gainfully employed. That's a terrific outcome for all of us. Reputation is also focused on Wildcat for Life, building relationships with alumni. I know many of you have strong relationships with alumni. We need to leverage those relationships. There are over 82,000 alums from the Providence campus. We need to welcome them back to our campus, to understand the good work that we're doing here at the university. They have a strong appreciation for it. I've had the opportunity to chat with several alums in the past couple of months, and they've talked about what made Johnson & Wales special. That they always thought they were motivated students, that they could go on and do great things in their industry. They describe our students as doers, as being ambitious and focused. That's because of the experience you provide here. So on the slide, does anyone recognize the gentleman? Yeah, Top Chef, right? He was on the Kentucky Top Chef, JWU grad, doing incredibly well. He and his spouse have started a business in Maryland. He is so committed to being an active alum, engaged. He went to attended our alumni reunion. He shared his talents with members who came to the reunion. He believes in Johnson & Wales. He believes in the education. He credits it for the success that he has had in his professional life. We're also trying to reach out in new ways to our alum. So this year, we've introduced 2 FAM programs for our alumni to participate in. So a trip to Italy, where they get to taste the wines and the foods. We had over 22 applicants for that program, and one to South Africa. We're excited about that because it builds a bridge, it allows them to reconnect with faculty, and by the way, brings in some revenue for the institution. Day of Giving. So Chancellor Rooney and Maureen Dumas are working on advancement opportunities. The Day of Giving is a great place where we can bring the whole campus together and focus on building scholarship dollars, dollars for athletic programs, dollars for academic programs. We launched our first Day of Giving this past March, and we had tremendous success. But we can do better. So mark your calendars. March 18th will be our next Day of Giving in 2020. We'll be focusing on bringing in celebrity chefs who will do some videos and challenge their fellow alums. We're also going to challenge our athletic teams and alum to come back out. They were the big leaders this past Day of Giving. So it will be great to see if we can build those resources and build that program to the level that it needs to be at. Resources. So you know the university, and particularly here at the Providence campus, we've invested a lot of resources in ensuring that we can deliver our academic program without fail. You've seen the work that was done in the John J. Bowen Center. You've seen the work that happened in CCE and our athletic facilities, and the work happening across our campus. This spring and summer, our facilities team has been hard at work reimagining spaces so that we can support our educational program here at the university. So if you haven't had a chance, the Food Innovation and Design Lab, built to support the work that we'll be doing in the College of Food Innovation and Technology. It's a great connection. The way you get to Fiddle, because that's its nickname, you know we love acronyms, the way you get to Fiddle is through the Culinary Museum. So take a moment, reflect on that. You have this opportunity to see the evolution of food and then the future of food. How the food will be produced, how we can think about food differently, how we can solve societal issues. We also have our SEAM lab, and that's actually here in the Xavier building, and that has been financed through support from TD North. So many of you know we have a relationship with TD North. That will be a place where students in the sports, entertainment, and event management can really bring their work to life. So I hope you have a chance to check out that space. I'm not sure if all the finishing touches are done there. We also have spent a lot of time on the occupational therapy labs. And they're located in the Academic Center on Mathewson Street on the first and second floor. If you have a moment, try to walk through there, but classes are in session, just so you know. This week, well, this is the last day, right? They come back?
Yesterday, so today's fine, and
Next week. Walk through Academic Center. You'll have a chance to see the space. Really unique space. And there's another illustration of how we can commit to something and build a program. We received the okay from the accrediting body to begin recruiting for that program in December, and we enrolled 12 extremely qualified students in that program this June. Next year, our goal is to enroll 24 students, and we'll hit it. Additionally, we have an esports center. That space is going to take the space that City Burger used to be in. We're not losing City Burger. City Burger's moving over to Snowden. So if you like burgers, you can still go there and get some. But the esports center demonstrates our commitment to recruiting students from a different vantage point. So I think everyone's heard about the intense gaming environment that exists for high school and college students. And I guess you can make millions of dollars playing Fortnite. The NCAA is actually looking at legitimizing esports as one of the varsity programs. So we don't know if that will happen, but we have a coach who will help recruit students, and they will be practicing and doing their work in the City Burger space, which will now be the Esports Center. So we're excited about that. Also, in September, late September, we will be opening a Providence police substation at the Harborside campus. So this is going to sound very Rhode Island to you. But do you remember where the nurse's office was? That's where they're going to be. So we're excited to have them on our campus. It's good for Providence Police. It's also good for our community to have their presence there. So when you see the sign go up, you'll know, and if you can attend the ribbon cutting, that would be great. We've also been making updates. So we've done a lot of work in the residence halls to support the student experience and to ensure that our residence halls are both safe and comfortable for our students. Continuing with resources, we want to make sure that our resources are aligned with the activities in Focus 2022. So investments in new academic programs and spaces that support our academic programs are critical. Investments in what we're going to do in the College of Food, Innovation, and Technology are important. We need to put our current resources to work, and we have been doing that. So we've been looking at our campus footprint, and we've been able to utilize it in a much more effective manner. And in doing that, we were able to walk away from some leases. And that saved over $1 million here at the Providence campus. We're also looking for renewable energy sources and entered into a net metering agreement, another $1 million savings. That's the way that we can manage our resources. We have to be efficient with our use, but we also have to make the investments on things that make us more efficient and more effective in our work. In enrollment management, they're introducing a new CRM called Slate, which will allow us to understand how a student actually navigates their recruitment journey, enrollment journey at the university. We were able to meet the deadlines and the objectives of that project with the help from the IT team and our enrollment team. Additionally, we've upgraded our mobile app. So if you haven't downloaded the JWO mobile app and you wonder when there's a sporting event, I wonder what's happening on campus today, did our students get a message about XYZ? Go to your app store on your phone and download the JWO mobile app. That will allow us not only to talk to our current students, but our staff, alumni, and people who just happen to wander on our campus. There's a lot of work happening to ensure that our resources are managed well, but we also need to look at new revenue sources. We are highly tuition dependent here at the Providence campus. This fall, we will continue to look at how we can better utilize our spaces over the summer, allowing groups to use our spaces, using our spaces for camps that help advance our reputation. We will also be looking at applying for grants. In particular, here at the Providence campus, we will be applying for the TRIO grant. It's a federal-based grant that allows us to support our students' learning outcomes, particularly students who are more fragile financially, Pell-eligible students. We'll be applying for that program in November. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. I think we're positioned well to be competitive for that grant. If we are awarded that grant, that's a $1.5 million grant. So it's a big number. So listening sessions. It truly was a privilege to chat with folks and understand what your priorities were. We took all of the work, all of the information we received from the faculty listening sessions, the staff listening sessions, and we're working on student listening sessions, and decided to prioritize. Where do we need to focus our energy and time? Where do we need to solicit expertise from our campus community? And here are some of the things that we're going to have to take on. Retention, acclimating students to our campus, teaching them to be learners in the classroom. Their experiences are vast. How do we bring them all together in one core aspect? Retention of staff and faculty. How do we retain the talented faculty and staff that we have here on campus? Continued work with Campus 2022. Looking at tradition, looking at culture, looking at our approach and our process. They're all critical to our long-term success. Alumni. We need them on our campus. They are our ambassadors of the Johnson & Wales experience, and they're doing amazing things in the industry. We've got to capitalize on that. Bring them back. Really connect with them in a meaningful way. Teaching and learning. We are a teaching university first and foremost. We need to really spend time on what learning outcomes look like for the university. And lastly, evaluating excellence. Chancellor Rooney challenged all of us to do our work to the best of our ability. How do we measure that? How do we know we're doing it? So we've got to look at that. Unlike other work groups that we've put together in the past, these will actually have open enrollment. We will have anchors who will lead the projects, and then folks will be able to sign up. Now, we can't have hundreds of people in these groups, but you'll receive information about how to sign up for these work groups through This Week at JWU, and I hope you take on the challenge, that you bring your expertise to contribute to our long-term objectives here at the university. So I've gone through a lot of information. You've all taken it all in one setting, and you're probably sitting there like, well, so what's the most important thing? The most important thing is, regardless of your role or your title here at the university, that you are mindful that it's our students. We are here to challenge them, to guide them, to motivate them in achieving their academic goals, in being members of our community. You choose to work here. There are lots of places you could go. You choose to work here because you believe in our mission. When I talk to students and I ask them, why did they choose Johnson & Wales? They all have different stories, and they're great stories. What led them here? And then when I ask why they stay, inevitably, they talk about a person, talk about a faculty member, a counselor, a coach, a fellow student. They talk about our community. That's why they stay. So for you to hear it in their own voice.
It's different here. It's just a completely different world.
I love Johnson & Wales. Everyone here is just so friendly, great, hardworking, ambitious. I've never met so many ambitious people.
I feel like every person I've met in class is a hard worker. They have like a motivation or a drive about them.
The variety of faculty is very exciting, from really impressive scholars in their field to practitioners to everyone in between. They did not come here to bolster their publication credentials. They've come here first and foremost to teach.
They're like your mentors, basically. They love us.
If there's a question on your mind and you need to ask them something, they're very open, and it's a tight relationship. They care about you as a student. Johnson & Wales, I have to say, is real. It's just real.
It's pretty powerful. We have the privilege of being part of their story. So we have to bring a commitment to excellence every single day. I am honored to serve in this capacity, to be there with you and work alongside you. It's going to be a great academic year. So 2019 is going to be fantastic. And I learned something as I was preparing for today. I have been starting school for 47 years. I was like, goodness gracious, I'm old. How is that possible? It's going to be a great academic year because of the students who will come here and for the work that you will do to encourage them and motivate them. So thank you, and I'm ready to take questions. It's going to be a really short Q&A. Yes.
When you talk about assimilating new students, I think about programs like Living and Learning Communities, a cohort model, freshman seminar. Can you touch on any specific initiatives that are being investigated to or looked at to address that assimilation?
Yeah, it's a great question. So during the listening sessions, lots of folks brought up FYE or learning communities. And the reality is I'm not sure what the right fit is for Johnson & Wales, and that's why we're going to put that work group together to really talk about what are those activities that acclimate a student to a college campus that support a learner in the achievement of their academic goals. And we need the expertise of everyone to bring that to life for Johnson & Wales. Our hope is to start something new in September 2020. So we're going to take this year to build and then start in 2020. But those options are all on the table right now. I covered everything. You have no questions? That's impossible. Anybody worried about anything? So Sarah told me this was going to happen when I was getting ready. She was like, you know, they're all just going to stare at you. Joelle?
That last video was so moving. Is that part of an ad campaign? Is that something that we show at admissions?
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to Doug Whiting and his team, Joey and Scott and others. Some of these are all videos that we have, and they compiled them all together for this purpose, but it will be. It will definitely be shown at our open houses and at some of our admission centers. It's pretty powerful. They did a great job. All right, well, I don't want to take up your time. I want to thank you all for coming out and supporting our students, and I look forward to the coming academic year. Have a great Friday.